But is it worse though? Like, if you methodically beat me down for 3 rounds and then, say, choke me out at the end, to me that domination would be more complete than catching me fast. Hmm.
Kind of sucks
Sort of
being.
like at night when he climbs on his girlfriend, huh?
All right,
Oh,
you guys.
yeah. I got
Just
this
the
question.
people know in the stream, they're saying that they couldn't hear anyone but me. I think I fixed the mistake. Wings, can you count to 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
2, 4, 6.
I want to know
It's
what's
funny.
worse,
Now the stream
losing
can
a
hear you, but
fight.
I can't. I got to get this worked out.
All right.
Is it worse to lose a fight by getting
Okay,
knocked
maybe
out or
they're
submitted,
wrong.
or
It's
have
so
it a
perfect.
judge decide it?
Um,
Oh,
well, if it's-
Wings, can
if
you
it's
count to
a-
5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's on me.
Like, I would just want to stand over him and be like, "You just got choked the fuck out." You know.
I spent 3 months thinking about that guy though. After that fight was over, I didn't care.
Hmm.
I was all about just being happy and going to my corners and coaches and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
See, I
The
couldn't have
audio
been
is
him.
perfect. That's funny. They say the audio is perfect, but I can't hear anything. So I don't see this one should be fixing it. I don't know why it's not.
I'm surprised nobody's got just like knocked somebody right in the back of the head yet.
It happens, but I mean, you're not allowed to hit the back of the head. So
I'm talking about after the fight's over. They just got just bam, sucker punch the shit out of you.
Oh, that's happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who the hell was it? Semtex, Paul Daly. He was fighting Josh Koscheck. The fight was over. The bell rings. Koscheck's kind of mulling off to him. He tried to sucker punch him. He got cut. UFC fired him on the spot.
How about that guy that in Pride he kissed him during the touch gloves thing?
Yeah, Heath Herring was the guy that got kissed, and he sucker punched him.
What was your take on that thing?
I thought it was awesome what Heath did. I actually met Heath. I got to talk to him about it, and he's like, dude, if you kiss a man where I'm from, you're getting punched in the face. Doesn't matter if we're gonna fight, we're not supposed to fight. Go to the grocery store. Doesn't matter. You kiss me.
That's just step 2, right? You gotta get hit in the face. But I don't know, cause I don't know. Heath Herring was acting just so badass during the stare down section of it, and I don't know. It struck me as kind of funny, but then again, I didn't really knock Keith for it either. It seemed like an appropriate response, or at least a reasonable one.
I mean, if a guy kisses you, he's got it coming. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone thought it was uncalled for.
Yep.
All right. So, oh, I've got a whole bunch of topics lined up, but the show's not started yet. Anyway,
Audio worked out.
yeah, I got it all going. What was I gonna say? Joe Lauzon's here in our live stream. He's our guest for this week. We got Wings of Redemption, Redneck, me, and Joe Lauzon on the show this week. People were saying, I don't know, Kitty was getting fussed at from last week. I thought she did an awesome job.
I guess people have high expectations, especially for random numbers of episodes.
For 69. I thought she did a good job. I think, yeah, Kitty was fun. She's getting some love in the stream. There we go.
Yeah.
So, Joe, you were saying that you didn't think Melvin had control at all at any moment during that fight?
Not really. I mean, he threw a couple of punches, but I mean, I was coming forward the whole time, so I really didn't feel like he really had anything.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So, I got all these questions. I'm saving them for the podcast.
You have the title set to 70, right?
No, I have to fix that. And
Well, his highlight of his week was choking out an elite fighter. The highlight of my week was buying a new pair of Nikes.
Pretty much the same.
yeah. 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. It's no big deal.
You know, I'm so fucking cheap, dude. Like, I'm so cheap I surprised myself today when I'm like, man, I gotta get a new pair of shoes. So I go to the shoe show, and, you know, they're like $30. I'm like, why the fuck had I bought these earlier? $30.
I bought shoes. I bought running shoes because I started running again. And then 2 weeks later, my dog chewed on them, and I bought them again. $70 twice in 2 weeks. Blows.
My buddy's got a bulldog. His dog ate his like $300 shoes 3 times. He beat the shit out of him every time. Got to the point where, like, by the second time, the dog, like, when my buddy Brandon woke up, the dog just kind of looked at Brandon. He acted like he was already being beaten. He like,
yeah. Rolled over on his back and started pissing everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep,
Man.
he knew.
My dog Jack, the Great Dane, is such a pain in the ass. Like, he has a cage, right? And the cage for a Great Dane, by the way, is the size of like a room, like it's bedroom-sized cage. And every moment he's not in there, he is a pain in the butt. He's chewing on something he shouldn't be chewing on. He's asking to go outside. If you let him outside, he immediately starts barking at stuff, and I have to bring him back inside. Pain in the ass dog. Giant pain in the butt.
Our new dog is going through the period where he wants to bark at anything that's not his shadow.
Our yellow labs, for the first like 18 months, 2 years, chewed on stuff, and I look forward to Jack getting past that.
my pit bull don't bark at shit. He just
No?
he don't bark for real. Like, if a stray dog would come up in the yard, he'll go kill it or something. There ain't no be no barking. He don't warn nobody. He just there he goes.
On YouTube, there's a Rottweiler named Happy, and where he lives, there are wolves all over the place, and they have security cameras outside, and they just put up like video after video of him, like attacking wolves. Like there was one, like the neighbor's dog had security cams up, and the wolves came into the yard and picked up the neighbor's dog, which looked like it was maybe like an 8 or 12-pound dog. And you're like, oh my God, the family dog's getting stolen. This is a horrible thing. Then out of nowhere, Happy comes bolting like a hero from the other yard, and he zooms across the yard and takes down the wolf, and the dog runs for help while Happy gets his work done.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I showed my wife that. She's like, if that was our dog, that wolf would not have gotten away. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Link it. All right, I'll see if I can find the link.
Oh dear. Happy.
Did you find it?
I wish my dog could beat up wolves.
I don't know what Jack would do. I think the wolf might take him.
Obviously, hard animal. It has to fend for itself.
Well,
House dog gets fed on accordingly in hours.
Oh, it depends on what kind of house dog. No joke.
Yeah, that Rottweiler pit bull, they'll get it done.
A Rott, they're badass too.
Dude, these dogs don't know what to do if you take their fucking toy away from them.
Your dogs? Yeah, I don't think mine would do well either.
My little domesticated wolf is Sissy.
I'm not finding the Happy video. I'm trying for you guys.
I think it was on Reddit. You can probably find it on there.
The Reddit search engine?
Yeah,
try.
it was on there for sure.
Hang on, let me look at my history. I'm sure I got it somewhere.
You just search dog save dog. I'll see if I find it too.
All right. This is it. The race is on. Oh, I found it. Here, link in the stream.
I got one of a dog. I got one of a dog stepping on a kid's naughty zone.
That's mine.
Yeah.
That video is awesome.
It's only a 27-second video. It's awesome. It's just as I described it. I see the little dog there. There's the wolf. Oh.
That little dog was lucky. He was chained down.
Is he chained down, really? Because he runs away.
Now, if you'll watch, when the wolf stops, I think the dog was chained down. I think that's what makes him stop running.
Oh, I think you're right. I didn't even notice that the first time.
He's chained.
Happy comes busting and ass.
Yeah.
Come back here.
Yeah,
Come here, you bitch.
Happy needs a cape. The dog's a superhero.
I had a Chihuahua one time, and all these big pit bulls, and the Chihuahua act like she ran shit. But when she pissed off the big pit bull, they'd be outside. He'd raise his leg up and piss on her. He'd piss on her like, "You're mine, bitch," and just walk on, barking.
I'm looking at my podcast topics. I make notes all week. I'm looking at this. Some of these aren't half bad.
Yeah.
Oh God, this one's horrible.
I read for you a few of them on your Facebook page.
Check those too. I have an apology for Steve Jobs all prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Not
Joe.
the kind of apology you might expect, though.
You got a fight lined up in the distant future?
Nothing yet. Nothing. I'll probably find out. I mean, sometimes I find out early, sometimes I don't find out for a while. I want to fight in like February or so I might not find out for like maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
February.
Super Bowl.
Does you get any new sponsors or anything yet?
I got about 50 million emails. I basically anything you could come up with, I had someone trying to give it to me in my email.
So how do you manage that? Like that's.
Here's what you do: you ask for a new Ford truck and you give it to me.
Joe, that's a question I have for you. Like, if I were to look at my little YouTube thing I have going on, I'm pretty good at building a fan base and making content people want to see. I'm absolutely terrible at like managing the business side of it. There's hardly any ads or sponsors or anything in my world. How do you manage it? Like, what do you do?
I have a manager that does all my sponsor stuff. So I also have him, like, he'll do like seminar stuff and appearances and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of acts as like a filter because some of the stuff just isn't worth like the time. Like I got, I like to do all the interviews I can, but I got like probably 50 people that email me and they have like some little blog that gets like 10 viewers. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's not worth, missing out and being exhausted from doing that kind of stuff and giving a crappy interview for like Yahoo.
And it's hard being the guy that tells them that too. Like you need a manager to be your jerk because like I get the same sort of thing. Like, hey Woody, I have a homework assignment where I need to interview someone. Would you do it with me?
Yeah.
And it's like
I get those like every day.
every day. Yeah.
I'd like to do them all, but it's just not feasible. There's one of me and there's 8,000 of them. So
I hear that.
Tough.
Let me ask you this: if you have 10 people watching your blog and you want to pay $50,000, I'm down to waste my time.
I know. I hear you.
Man, it's crazy.
They want to talk about my coke addiction. Man, they were all fussing at me for that excited video commentary I made right after your fight. Like, so many people had nasty things to say.
High strung, baby.
High strung. But that was a fun video to make, man. That was a good night. That was a good night.
It was a very good night.
Yeah. So, and then, like, I sent Joe a text, shucks, I guess twice on the fight day, right? Once before and once after. And yes. I really didn't expect you to return them at all. I was like, I'm not going to call, right? Because you've got things to do. I was like, the least intrusive way I could be supportive was a text message that I could think of. And so I sent them, and you returned them both. I'm like, yeah, baby. Joe Lauzon texted me.
Priorities.
Yeah.
So was there a party after you choked a bitch out?
No. I mean, like I've tried to set up after parties and stuff before, but honestly, I usually don't even want to go because you get such an adrenaline dump, and you're so exhausted and tired and whatever. I just stayed for the press conference, so I didn't get out of there till like 1, and then I went and I had like a 3-hour-old pulled pork sandwich, and it was the most delicious thing I've ever had.
For those that don't live in the north, pulled pork sandwich is barbecue,
And it's unbelievable.
Pulled pork sandwich.
You guys
it's barbecue. It's what we call barbecue redneck.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's crazy. In my mind, I thought there'd been like Jaeger bombs everywhere.
I don't even drink.
A big old. I mean, not for you, for me. You know what I mean?
How much do you
T-bone.
drink, Joe? Because I say that I don't drink also, but the truth is I drink like 5 drinks a year or something like that.
When I was 18, I went to a strip club in New Jersey, and I had one little sip of some blue drink that I don't think even had any alcohol in it, and that is the extent of anything.
Really? So you're
Yeah.
like... Now, is it just that you don't really like alcohol, or like a morality thing, or what do you got going on?
It's not a morality thing.
You're like, no, that can't be it. That's the furthest thing.
No. Since I started training when I was like 16, and I was never that kid that was drinking in high school, and I just always had something coming up. And when you always have to worry about weight class and things like that, I never really got into it at all. It was always like I always had a fight coming up, and then just as I got older, I'm like, I can't think of one good thing that's ever happened because of alcohol. You know what I mean? I had so many friends that swear off alcohol every single weekend, but they're right back at it the next weekend. It's like it's an acquired taste and this and that. I'm like, all right, I'm going to stick to freaking drinking soda and drinking juice and drinking water, and I'm going to let everyone else have all the alcohol they want.
Yeah, I'm with you on the alcohol, right? Like my observation is it makes you fat, stupid, and poor. None of those things sound good to me.
If you have a really good time, that's all in one night. No, I'm kidding. Anything in moderation. You got to know when to clamp it down.
Nice.
Yeah, but who really knows moderation when it comes to drinking, though?
Oh, you'd be
My brother
surprised.
definitely doesn't.
You'd be surprised.
I had a lot of friends too. And like people always get weird. They think I'm offended if they're drinking around me. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm used to being a designated driver. I have no problem with it. I'm perfectly fine.
I like designated driver. Like, oftentimes it gives me the excuse I need not to drink. Like, I get total immunity from all drinking pressure.
Yeah. If I ever have anyone pressure me, I'm always like, oh, I got a fight coming up. And even if I don't, they just like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
It must have been hard for a motherfucker like Chris Farley. No wonder that motherfucker was doomed. Hey, Chris, you want some cocaine? Nah, dog, I'm trying to say, you sure? Next thing you know, your heart's busted.
Chris Farley. He was funny.
Yeah, it was.
Every time a comedian loses weight, they're not funny anymore. Have you guys seen that too?
Yeah, like Seth Rogen. I've seen him. I went and watched that 50-50 movie. One of the worst, most depressing movies you ever watch. But Seth Rogen is like this skinny little nobody now. It's like really, I don't even want to see you now. Bring me the fat guy back.
Is he the guy from Green Hornet?
He was. What did Seth Rogen do? That was so popular. Pineapple Express. He was in something that was really big. I have to ask what was Seth Rogen's big movies? He used to be really freaking fat.
was he Knocked Up? Maybe.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, knocked up.
But he was losing weight, Knocked Up too. There was a bigger movie before Knocked Up.
Pineapple Express.
He was in Green Hornet, I think.
Tomorrow, it's the
I mean, that 50-50 movie seemed like he was just put in there just to have some kind of comic undertones. Because that movie is depressing.
That was him from Superbad?
Yeah.
He was big in Superbad. You know what I like too? The guys that like hit puberty and become good looking, like that guy from Harry Potter.
Oh, another guy I was thinking about, that Drake and Josh guy from the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he looks fucking depressing since he lost weight. He's like all flabby and shit.
Dude, so I was reading my YouTube messages today, which, by the way, like I get so many messages, it is impossible to manage all my messages, and I bet I had 20 people today write about how they were suicidal. That is just like, what do you do? But you know what else I get a lot of? I made a YouTube video in the summer teaching people how to make their research papers longer. And I get messages all the time like, Woody, that totally hooked me up. I favorited that thing and it worked. And, you know, I get messages on that all the time. Someone just put it in the stream that they, that they use my technique to make their paper longer. Like
Is your
boss,
technique,
baby.
I haven't seen this video, but is your technique pretty much be as long-winded as humanly possible?
Well, it was a good video, right? So first I covered the legit ways to make your paper longer, which is like quote people, add more arguments to whatever it is you're trying to say, or add counter arguments and debunk them, right? Those are like legit ways to make your paper longer. But then I went into the cheap stuff, which was basically take all the periods on the end of every sentence and change it from 12-point to a 14-point font, which you can hardly see, and it makes the paper notably longer. It's a good video.
You gotta. I think the big one you missed was putting an extra space after every period.
I already put 2 spaces. Doesn't everyone do that?
See, you're supposed to, but most people don't.
I didn't know that.
Most people don't. Oh. Like if I were typing I wouldn't double space after a sentence. I would just do one and I would go. But for paper, you're supposed to.
That's on auto for me. I always double space. I didn't realize there were people who didn't. Although I think I've read recently that in Europe they don't do that. That in Europe they single space after papers. I'm not positive. Don't know.
Signals.
I try not to think about writing papers.
Nah.
Unless it's checks.
I try not to write checks either.
Just try to sign checks.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Depositing checks is nice. You guys ready to start the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever.
All right. Wings, who's gonna do the
I say
intro.
let Joe be like, welcome to PKA number 70. I'll choke the bitch out.
You guys down for that?
Hold up. I got something brewing.
All right.
It's got to involve Joe choking the bitch out.
It doesn't got to involve that.
Yeah.
Wings always does a good job. Oh, they're linking our fight, Joe, in the stream. You and I.
1v1 me, kid.
I don't know. We go with the Joe thing because I hit a damn wall.
You want me to do it? Or you want Joe to do it? Me do it?
I'm flexible. I don't care.
She let Joe do it. Hell, he's the one who choked the bitch.
All right, Joe. Tell me when you're ready. I'll count down.
Okay, so you want me to say this is PKA episode 70?
Yeah.
Don't make me choke. This Joe Lauzon. Don't make me choke a bitch.
That'll work.
That is awesome. Oh, man.
All right, are you ready? All right,
Yep.
so I'm not going to say 1. 5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up? This is Joe Lauzon. This is PKA episode 70. Don't make me choke a bitch.
There you go, baby.
Yeah! Get choked!
Oh, yeah.
All right, so on the show tonight is WoodysGamertag, Wingsofredemtion, Redneck, and UFC fighter Joe Lauzon. So, Joe, coming off a big fight, get your win, baby.
It's a big weekend. Big weekend.
Nice. And you know what? Look, so Melvin talked a little trash coming into the thing, right? You know, he was confident. But was it over the top? Like, you guys seemed to be pretty respectful in the ring. One of the first things you did, which I thought was super cool after your win, was you came over to him and sort of put your hand on his shoulder. Like, there was no genuine hatred there, was there?
No, it was pretty cool. I mean, I met Melvin before, and he was super cool with me, really nice. So, you know, we talked about how, you know, there might be a time we're supposed to fight, and you know, it's just nothing but respect and all this other stuff. And then, you know, like I was in a sauna cutting weight with him and all that stuff. But regardless of, you know, being cool with someone, not being cool, like you're gonna fight and you're gonna try and do your best. And you know, but I'm cool with him after. You know, he was perfectly fine to me. I was perfectly fine to him. You know, everything's good.
All right. So I've had a question about this. And people are built differently, right? But to me, what I think my odds are going into any kind of competition, whether it be fighting, swimming, video games, whatever, doesn't really have much of an impact on what I do. But there are other guys who are like, oh my gosh, if you don't think that you're going to win this, you've already lost. Yeah. Where do you fall in that? Like, what are you thinking?
I just try to keep a clear head. I think when you start getting mad or upset or whatever, that's just, leading to, you having a bad experience. You get pissed and you try to do something extra hard, or, you try and do something out of character. I think that is kind of going to lead to your downfall. If you approach it and you're real cerebral about it, I feel like you're going to perform at your best.
See, I think that applies in a lot of things, too.
You were the underdog headed into that fight, right?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 to 1 or something. Yeah.
I've seen 3 to 1. I've even seen like 5 to 1. I saw 7 to 2. But yeah, like a pretty good size underdog. Did that get in your head at all? Does it bother you? Does it what does that do to you?
No, not really. Not really. I mean, I was thinking about it a little bit, but at the same time, like honestly, odds are more based around how people are gonna bet. So even if the bookies think that one person's gonna win, all odds are made based on how they think people are gonna bet. Melvin was running around acting super cocky and things like that, so they made him, a big favorite so that people betting on him wouldn't, make as much if he did win. So it didn't mess with me too much. It was more so, whatever. It's everyone else's opinion. Obviously it didn't matter. It took less than a minute for me to prove everyone wrong. So.
Yeah.
That was sweet, man. That was sweet. Did you eventually sink that choke? It was kind of on his jaw.
Yeah, I was on his chin first, and then I just said screw it, and I just kind of ripped it back and forth, and then it popped under his chin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because in the gym, sometimes people will tap from a pain choke like that. Because if it's on his jaw, if it's on his chin, it's not choking him. It's just really unpleasant. But at the UFC level, no one taps to unpleasantness.
Yeah.
So you're taught to keep your chin down, right, so that you can't get you.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
What did he do wrong? Should he have controlled your other hand? Like it seems
he should have used both of his hands to try and control my one hand.
Yeah, the one that wasn't on his chin, right? He should have prevented that from getting the grip.
Yep.
Yeah, I was seeing that.
I'm glad you guys are in this. I'll be like, what did he do wrong? Well, he put him on his back to begin with.
With the beginning, though, I think that when he got his bell rung, from the jab. So I think that's what really did it. It's entirely different when you're completely clear-headed and you know what's going on. It's a different story altogether when you've just been smashed in the head and you can hardly stand.
Yeah, there's a boxer who has the quote that all the game plans go out the window after that first punch in the face.
Tyson, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the face.
Ah.
Mike Tyson was a beast.
He knows a thing or two about getting hit in the face.
Yeah.
All right.
This is something different. I just thought I'd ask real quick.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you're a great MMA fighter, but how many, from the time you've been training as a professional, have you ever been in any, obviously you don't drink, but any type of outside of the ring in the general public fights? I was going to say bar fights, but obviously you probably don't go to the bars.
Not really. I got in, 2 fights in high school. They both were the same kid, who's actually a kid I'm friends with, my buddy Jake, and, it was over a football game. The first one was a late hit on my brother, and then, or what I thought was a late hit on my brother, a cheap shot. And then the second one, I don't remember what it was. I remember we were talking on Instant Messenger, though, and we decided we were going to meet halfway. So I walked towards his house, he walked towards mine, met in a field. I hit him with a hook in the face, smashed his nose, and then he came to Six Flags with us the next day.
Awesome.
So it wasn't that serious of a fight, but that was pretty much it,
I have an idea that would be epic, at least from my point of view. So picture this, right? Come Super Bowl weekend, you do your next UFC fight, you take the guy down, you get your win, Joe Rogan's interviewing you, and you somehow slip in there that you controlled the engagement. Can we make that happen?
I can think about that. If I can remember what's going on, I will try to slip there.
Yeah, if you told him, I worked my defense, I controlled my engagements, that would be so epic. Oh, man.
I should just start working that in every interview. You gotta control the engagement, wrestling, you gotta get that takedown.
Yeah.
There it is, man.
Totally crazy.
Dude, so we played Xbox the other night,
yes.
Right? Here's the truth, right? So I was nervous about how well I would play in front of Joe, right? Joe and I have been talking about hopping on Black Ops for a while now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hop on there. I'm gonna get all these like even KD games. I'm gonna suck, and like I kind of like dodged it for a little bit, and then we played the other night. I did all right. Like
you definitely did more than all right.
Yeah, like at first we brought in Optic JCap, and look, I'm not pretending to be the player that people who don't know, he's one of the best players in the world. And for the games he was there, we kind of traded top spot in the lobby, and then he left. And for the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 games or so, I was just doing my thing. I had some like 50-4 games, stuff like that, getting choppers and dogs a lot, until the end of the night when I kind of wore out. I don't know what time it was, and I was just like, yeah, that worked out really well. And I think I'm never gonna play with you again, Joe. I think I'm gonna just
gotta maintain that staying above the bar.
Yeah, it ties into my strategy with my son, right? So get this, right? Sometime, maybe next year or so, when he's 9, I'm gonna like accidentally let him see my like full-sized adult penis, right? So he's gonna have this mental image of me being ginormous, like oh my god, that thing was just like in a whole different universe than mine. And then I will never let him see it again, ever. It will just burn into his head as this legend, this thing that he can't forget. Right? So, those two things seem really parallel to me. Like I'm never gonna play with Joe again.
Really, like pedophile.
It has to take place in the bathroom, or that's gonna be fucked up.
Right.
Walk in and gotta pee or something.
I'll just come strolling out of the shower like I didn't know he was there, just like swinging like a horse, full size grown up man, and then that's it. Never again, just my dad's a legend. It'll never be that huge. That's how it rolls.
No, dude, what you'll do is that you'll give him a complex. Like he might get some daddy's genes or whatever. And he might have a good sized wing himself, but in his mind he'll think, if he's out 7-8 inches, 6'5", whatever inches he's got, he's gonna always think, I'll never be the man my dad is.
That's not my fucking problem. That's my goal. That's how that.
You don't want him to think that his whole life, though. Because there might, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. That's fun. It's crazy.
I'd be alright if that made it into a Bongster animated adventure right there.
It just depends on how well he animated it,
Make that thing huge. Alright, so I got a question. I'm going to start with Redneck.
Uh-oh.
Is it harder to be a man or a woman? And I'm looking at, like, some of the stresses on man, like, being a wage earner, showing, like, a personal strength, body issues, sex organs, social pressures, making friends. In general, who has a tougher lot in life, men or women?
Men.
Men? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
all day. Well, one, most men die before the women the same. Men die before women. Let's see. 2, we have to provide everything. Sorry, Kitty. I know you were listening. 3, 3, now here's the best part, okay? A woman can just lay there. Okay? Let me tell you something. Days I have a headache and she wants to get it on, hey.
It happens.
Hey, you got to knock that headache out and knock that nut out. You can't just lay there. You know what I'm saying? To me, I'm going to tell you something else, too. Being a woman is easier getting jobs.
You think?
I believe so. And look, 50 years ago, I would not agree with you. I wouldn't have said that. But today, I believe that. You take two people. Both of them got the same education. You walk some guy in with his little hair slicked back in a suit, and you walk some woman in there all done up with a little cleavage. Paintball cheese gonna kill me. But I'm gonna tell you which one I'd hire.
Here's the. All right. So on the man side, the whole social pressure to be the breadwinner is a tough thing, right? And I know that nowadays so many families have both men and women earning and stuff, but still, it's uncommon when the man isn't bringing home the bacon, right? If a guy was a stay-at-home husband, that oftentimes that doesn't go over well, socially. People don't see him as the the man that he would be if he were out there having some sort of professional career. What's cool about being a guy, being stronger, right? Like, not that I'm some sort of superhero, but I can walk around the movie theater and know that I can beat up pretty much every girl there, right? That's on lockdown. And a lot of the guys, if you're a girl, you have to walk around knowing that the majority of the population will kick your ass. That's gotta suck, right? You're like physically vulnerable everywhere you go.
True. Then you marry somebody like Joe Lauzon. So you get you a Joe, and then it's all good.
I'm gonna go opposite. I think it's way tougher to be a girl.
Oh yeah.
You got to deal with a period once a month, forever, pretty much.
So do guys.
Yeah.
The part we deal with sometimes is worse than the part they deal with.
And then high school girls.
Yeah.
Which is ever.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna go there too. Like the friendship dynamics that women have to deal with are so complicated. They're so tricky. They're, I'm your friends when we're 1v1, but when we're in a group, I'm not your friend anymore. We're friends at home, but we're not friends at school. We're friends this week, we're not friends next week, but we will be friends the following week. Girl relationships are just freaking underhanded and tricky and weird. Whereas guys, you pretty much
cackle.
Get what you get.
You hear all the time girls be like, see, this is why I don't hang out with girls. This is why I only have guy friends. You never hear any guys saying, oh, I'm never hanging out with the guys. This is why I only have girlfriends. It never goes that way.
Yeah, no. Oh, and then, this, of course, is a great example of social experimentation, but you look at these reality TV shows, whenever they split up groups into guys and girls, the girls are dysfunctional as hell, right? They're all catty getting along. The girls cannot get along with girls. Then they'll take one and put them on the guys' team, and it's like this oasis of happiness. People that can be freaking civil to one another.
Girls are vicious.
Wings, your answer? What's tougher, being a girl or being a guy?
All right, well, let me go and weigh the options out. Obviously, there's childbirth periods. There is the cackle kind of deal. Guys, pretty much if shit goes down, they expect the guy to stand up for them, put his life on the line. If there's a snake in the yard, the guy has to kill it. If there's a spider, the guy has to kill it. Money, that's the guy's problem. Holding the books, generally the guy's problem. I think it's tougher to be a guy, to be perfectly honest.
There you go. It's official.
There's just so much weight on a guy. Like, you have to defend her, you got to feed her, protect her, do the whole nine.
Yeah.
And then give her the whole nine. You know what I'm saying?
7 times a week, right? Who's with me? 7 times a week? No.
Is that all?
I'll be lucky if I get one out.
It's like my dad used to have a joke. He'd talk your shit. He said, "Yeah, I told this girl one time, I'm gonna give you 12 inches, baby." And she said, "Oh my God!" She said, "I've never had 12. I've had 10." He said, "I'm gonna give you 12." And he's like, "I'm gonna give you 12." And she said, "I can't wait to see it." He said, "I'll have to give it to you on 4 different occasions." He was wanting 12. Oh man. That's just crazy.
Dude, did you guys see the Only Use Me Blade Minecraft video? We have to talk about that. What? You didn't see that?
But I've seen the survival horror Mercadurka video.
That was good. I didn't see all the answers. But on the Blade, Redneck, did you see it?
No, I ain't watched it yet. I got it saved. I'm going to watch it when I get time.
Oh, man. All right, so here's the general premise. He says, in this kind of tone, over the course of the whole commentary, it's about Minecraft. And he's like, I don't have any problems with Minecraft. I don't mean to be hating on Minecraft. But to me, it looks like Minecraft sucks. It's like the ugly bitch at school that everybody else says is hot. And he just goes on and on and on and talks about how Minecraft is terrible. He's like, it's like Legos, right? He's like, but most of us, we realize Legos fucking suck, and we stopped playing with them as a child. It's like, why would I play Minecraft? And he just goes, And oh, it was the funniest thing. And he actually got like negative hours. Like all the Minecraft lovers were like gone. They didn't want anything to do with someone who didn't like Minecraft. So, yeah. What do we think here? Like, first of all, I thought it was pretty ballsy to come out against Minecraft. People think Call of Duty is the biggest gaming thing on YouTube. It's not. Minecraft is number one, and then after that, I'm not quite sure. The League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty are all really big, but there is no doubt that number one is Minecraft. That's it. Everyone else fights for second. So yeah. What do we think about this concept? I've never even tried Minecraft.
I have for about 3 minutes, and then my 7-year-old was like, "Dad, I've got to play that, Dad." I'm not here, and I dabbed and walked away from the computer. For real. Yep.
I would play with Legos before I played Minecraft.
Joe laying it down. Yeah, I loved the video. It was ballsy. I've never tried Minecraft. I don't want to hate on it, but it just doesn't look like my cup of tea, man. It's I don't know. Like I have this thing, right? When you look at the gaming world, who's who in gaming, right? Like for me, the first-person shooters, they're the jocks of the gaming world, right? That's where the cool kids are. That's where the Twitch guys are. Those like they are undeniably like the top guys, right? When you look at the World of Warcraft guys, those are the nerds, you know. That's gaming's nerd area. All the real life nerds go to World of Warcraft, and that's them. Wii, right? You know the Wii system. Those are the homeschool kids, right? They don't play with other people. they're kind of out there. They're off the mainstream. Those are homeschool kids. Left 4 Dead. That has to be the cheerleaders, right? I mean, this is the only place where it's the only game that girls actually play, Left 4 Dead. If you go to Left 4 Dead, if you want to pick up girls on Xbox, it's got to be Left 4 Dead. You can't pick up girls on Call of Duty. If there's one in there, it's like, oh my gosh, you'd be really surprised. And the crafters, like the Minecraft guys, I'm thinking that's like the theater and drama club.
I'm thinking that's like the fucking preschool club.
Hater! Eating the haterade! Some guy got mad at me for homeschool jokes.
Look, I will make a Minecraft video only if somebody else
look here.
Set it all up, and I'll jump in my little guy and be like,
What age do you normally start playing at Legos? 3 or 4, like a toddler. I have toddlers in this house. They don't play with Legos.
I don't know if I give Legos to a 3-year-old. I think you're asking for trouble.
You gotta wait till they stop eating the toys.
But that choke, his neck be all poking out with Legos sticking out the side.
Looked like a cartoon lizard that ate something wrong. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have any. I'm actually just telling jokes here. Don't get all haterade on me,
somebody
guys.
had a good message I just saw in the stream. It said something about you got to have a good imagination for Minecraft. I said I don't have one of those.
Yeah, me neither.
I want to come home and just shoot motherfuckers. Just blam.
Oh, dude. Can you imagine me playing Minecraft? I imagine it like a children's macaroni creation. Like just a bunch of random shit piled up into nothing. Look, Mom, I call it universe. And there it is.
I know what I'd be making.
What?
Be making an Olympic-sized pool and a place for the bitches to stand. Make me a Bentley garage.
You know what I could do in Minecraft? And I'm sure this has been done a gazillion times. I could just
Woody's man cave.
I could trim all the bushes into penises. Just go around and make that my mission. Right? Let's do it again and again. Make penis bushes everywhere.
The thing I don't like about Minecraft is the way people play it on their commentaries. Be like, "Hi, Mr. Cow. I'm going to hit the cow. He's got a mushroom on his back. I'm sorry."
Yeah, the mushroom stamp.
I think Minecraft commentaries are hard. Because a lot of times they put out a couple a day. And a lot of them are like 15 minutes long. These guys, they're making 30 minutes of commentary a day forever, and that's a lot. Yeah. I think running a Minecraft channel is pretty difficult to do.
Do you think Minecraft will ever come to the consoles? The actual real Minecraft?
Yeah, they announced it.
Okay. I missed it. Lol.
Yeah. So Minecraft is coming. Fortress Craft is on there now.
Yeah, I've tried that shit too.
I don't. For me, it's like I don't want to invest time in learning a totally different like genre of game.
I just want to kill people over and over and over. Just kill.
I enjoy that. Yeah, that's my kind of gaming right there.
It doesn't bother me to learn a different type of game. I just want to learn the type of game people will actually watch. Obviously, people want to watch Minecraft, but there's just too much time invested in Minecraft. You know, it's hard enough, getting Call of Duty videos. Just imagine if I got to build, like, the fucking Enterprise. It's going to take me 2.5 weeks to do one fucking video that might get 20,000 views.
Yeah. Speaking of different games, Joe.
Yo.
Are you in any MMA games?
I'm in the 2 UFC games, but I'm not announced for the third one that they have coming out, which I think is kind of bullshit.
That is bullshit. Come on, you're like the bonus king.
One of the developers actually texted me after the fight, telling me great fight, and I'm like, you guys better bump up my stats now for the game.
Here's what we do: we get everybody, to tell them if Joe is not in the game, we're not going to buy it.
Oh, we could do that, man. We could make a Twitter campaign or something.
I'm thinking that they're going to have a lot of the fighters are going to be like downloadable content. That's what I'm thinking.
No, you need to be in the game.
I agree.
Possession.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I always wondered this. What happens if you get put in a game and you're like this weak ass? I remember playing the wrestling games when I was growing up, and in the wrestling game there was this guy called the Hurricane, and he was the worst guy in the game. How's that got to make him feel?
Dude, there was a YouTube video where Jason Mayhem Miller went crazy about that. It was a prank, but Joe, have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that. Mayhem flipping off the dude.
Yeah, so they're in they're in an office surrounding a pretty big sized conference table, and if I remember right, there's like 8 or 12 people at the table, and Mayhem Miller sees his stats, like, his striking, his grappling, or whatever, and goes crazy that he's being underrated. And he starts, like, screaming at people and banging things, and, like, the corporate guys who write video games are just, like, scared to death at this UFC fighter who's lost his marbles. And then he just smiles and says that it's all good. Well played. Well played. Mayhem Miller, that guy's funny. He did a How to Dress Like Mayhem Miller Halloween costume. You should do that, Joe.
Yeah, big ears.
Yeah, I guess the hair and the ears, right?
Big ears and fight gloves. Good to go.
Yeah,
because all the MMA guys y'all all get those cauliflower ears, don't you?
Yeah, it's pretty unavoidable. It's from wrestling. You always get squished all the time.
No one wears ear protection in your gym? Oh, no. Guys are wearing ear protection at the gym.
Yeah, they do it sometimes, but it just becomes annoying, and you end up not wearing it, and then, I don't know.
And that shit hurts bad.
It's constricting.
It does hurt.
That's my problem. Like, sometimes you can't pop your head out, or when you can, it's just
you get caught in chokes. There's nothing worse to get caught in a choke. You shouldn't have, but you did.
Yeah. And the mouth guard too is a pain in the ass. Like I swear I breathe 20% less when I put that thing in my mouth.
Yeah, you gotta get a good mouth guard. You get a good mouth guard, like that shit changes everything.
Really?
Yeah, I got one. The UFC gets them all done for everyone by Fight Dentist. I think they're fightdentist.com. But if you get like a legit mouth guard, it probably costs like $100. But the shit is unbelievable. What a difference it makes.
They allow you to breathe through it while you're biting down.
I can't get my mouth guard out of my mouth without using my hands. Like I can't spit it out. Like it stays up top and it does not move.
That is awesome.
I kind of got screwed. Like when I was training for this fight, I got one of my front teeth knocked in, and like not completely out of my mouth, but it was like super loose. It was because I wasn't wearing my mouth guard, like an idiot, just grappling. But shit sucks.
Yeah.
Why don't you just get like one of those fake bridges put in?
Yeah, but I get punched in the face on a pretty normal basis. So
you don't wear the bridge when you're training, just when you're going out with the ladies.
Yeah, but then your mouth guard isn't going to be as good because there's no structure there. There's a gap.
So your tooth, did it move? Like because you got hit?
Oh yeah. It was like pretty much my tooth was like pointed completely at the back of my neck, back of my throat.
Oh, it was like
yeah.
Did it firm up and stay in place, or like what do you got going on?
Yeah, it's good now. Luckily there's a jiu-jitsu school that's not far, and the guy that owns it is a dentist. So like I showed up legit like 9:30 at night, like right when it happened, and he basically put like a bond behind it and buddied it up to my two other teeth, But then I couldn't train because I couldn't put a mouth guard in. My tooth was so sore. It was freaking. It's a nightmare. It was like right in the middle of when I should be doing all my sparring and stuff too.
Man,
So your tooth was just about knocked out.
Yeah, like I could have pulled it out. Like I was wiggling it in the mirror and I could have pulled it out.
Dude, can we talk about the Skype conversation we had like a week before your fight where you talked about your knee and ankle?
Oh yeah, no, we can talk about that.
All right. So I wrote Joe, I don't know, maybe a week before the fight, and I asked him if he was injured. And I asked him because injuries are super common, right? As guys work their way up to the fight, they start training at full speed, and because of that, injuries are really common. Some guys say no one enters a fight at 100%. And I'm like, Joe, are you injured? And he's like, why are you asking? I'm like, just because people get injured. And he's like, no. I'm like, are you lying? Yes. And like, it was text, so it's hard to like read sarcasm or like what's going on. What was going on? Were you hurt?
I rolled my ankle. So I rolled my ankle back in like March. And I did the same ankle. I was doing kickboxing. I just stepped on it bad and it swelled up. So it was like, I had like a softball on the side of it. And then, so I couldn't train for like a week. I basically just did like light, boxing and like just hitting mitts and stuff like that. I couldn't do anything. Then I went back. The first night back in the gym, I started rolling around. I feel pretty good. And then I hurt my knee. And then I'd have to take another week off. So I take another week off. I go back. The first night back, that was the night I got my tooth smashed. So I had like, they're in like the meatiest part of my camp when I should be doing like all my sparring and all that kind of stuff. I got 3 injuries in like 3 weeks in a row. Like
That's
the
crazy.
worst training camp.
I wonder what would have happened if the fight was longer than 47 seconds.
It was fine. It was all maybe. I got like 2.5 weeks of hard sparring like every single day. So I was in good shape. So I would have been fine if it went longer. But I've never had like a worse training camp with like just injuries. Like none of them on their own were bad to pull out of the fight, but just bad luck. Just stupid nagging stuff 1 week after the next. Garbage.
I wonder if Joe Lauzon could beat up my grandmother.
No, she's tough as nails.
You guys see the pictures of her?
That depends on if she comes unarmed or not, I think. Just Gangster Granny will slip a knife on him in a minute.
Gangster Granny. She may have been in more fights as well. Like, she may have the experience edge on Joe Lauzon.
She might be Joe's new trainer.
Joe got a 20-pound weight advantage on her, but she's good at fighting mountain lions.
I got another question. I don't know that everyone wants to hear all this fight stuff, but your camp, Joe.
Yep.
So, all right, yeah, a lot of your peers train together. They're at like American Kickboxing Academy or in New Mexico or whatever, and you hear like, oh yeah, like whatever. These guys are training together. They're all elite level guys. Whereas you're the Clydesdale in your gym, right? You're the guy who's head and shoulders above all the regular horses. I don't know if this analogy's working.
Yeah, I hear you.
But like, so how does that impact you? What do you think about that? Do you ever think that you should go and visit another camp, get some time there?
I've done that before. Like I went out to Hawaii and trained with BJ. I've done this. I've done that. I have a couple guys in my gym that are badasses. You know what I mean? Like they're not as well known, but they're really, really good fighters. And,
usually not well rounded though, right? Like I want to say, do you have like a silver medal judo guy or like what am I thinking of?
I got a kid, Travis Stevens. He trains with us. He comes like I met Travis. He's on the U.S. Olympic judo team, and I lift with Travis up at we both go to this place called Mike Boyle's, which is like half an hour from me. And so I met Travis there and just kind of became friends and like. He was like the toughest egg to crack ever. Like just seemed like just like no personality. Just didn't really talk a whole lot. It took a long time to get him talking, and he's real quiet. And then we got him to come up to my gym, and he was in the Olympics last time for judo. He's going. I think the next ones are in London next August. Mm-hmm. He's out there, so like he comes and trains with us. So he's a freaking badass.
So for people that don't know, judo is. Well, Joe, heck, you could correct me, but judo really focuses a lot on their takedowns. They have all like a million crazy takedowns that work, especially with a gi, and then they have a ground game, but they focus more on the takedowns. Is that pretty on target?
Yep, pretty much.
And so is that the area of your game where he helps you most, making sure your takedowns are sharp?
Well, in general, jiu-jitsu and judo are very, very similar. It's just where the emphasis is. In judo, the emphasis is, like you said, it's on takedowns and throwing people and things like that. In jiu-jitsu, it's all on the ground stuff, getting submissions and things like that. Travis is on the U.S. Olympic Judo team, but he specializes in ground stuff. So it's really a lot of jiu-jitsu stuff that he helps me out with. And he's trained with everyone. Like, he's trained with really, really good guys. So he's got really, really good stuff to show. And he's only a little bit bigger than me. He's like 180, 185 pounds. So he's not that much bigger than me.
That helps. So what about your hands? Is there anyone there that can throw?
Yeah, and then, like, I got this kid, Ben Pitsley, who is phenomenal at, like, mimicking styles, and he's a real good kickboxer. So, like, I work with him, and we'll bring in boxers if we need to. It kind of depends on the fight. So, but we break up a lot of my training into different parts. So I'll do full-on rounds and sparring and whatnot, for MMA, but I do way more of breaking things up individually. So working on wrestling and takedowns, working on jiu-jitsu stuff, working on boxing. We break it down a lot.
So you have no intention to, like, visit gyms again? You're pretty happy with the crew you have?
I'll go and I have no problem visiting gyms, but as far as, like, running a camp, I do it way better at, having people come to me and figuring out all my own stuff. Like, I brought in, for this camp, I brought in this kid, Ricky Lundell, who's phenomenal, like, world champ, like, and he wrestled at Iowa State, which is, like, super tough for wrestling. Mm-hmm. Cale Sanderson is, like, pretty much, like, the best wrestler to ever live. He went undefeated his entire college career, like, 4-time national champ, gold medalist, like, ridiculous wrestler. And Cale kind of took this kid, Ricky, under his wing, and this kid was already a black belt in jiu-jitsu, too. So, like, this kid's just, like, amazing. So I flew him out and brought him out. He stayed with me at my house for 2 weeks. So I feel like I do better off doing that because I have more control over things. And all my coaches are 100% focused on me. If I go to a team like AKA or American Top Team or something like that, you have really good coaches. You also have like 30 or 40 different fighters, and you're fighting to get one small piece of that coach's attention and time. And I feel like I can be way more selfish and just get a lot more out of it by doing it on my own.
That makes sense.
If that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Like, as a swimmer, I kind of get that. Like, I don't know. Heck, anytime the coach actually coaches you, you're like, cool. He's giving me his attention. Whereas, you got a handful of coaches just fully dedicated.
If you could have the best coach on the planet, but you had to split them with 10 other people, or you could have the second or third best coach and have them all to yourself. You're better off having, the coach all to yourself.
All right. I get that. Question for Wings of Redemption.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I get a lot of guys saying that as a small YouTuber, they don't have a chance to make it, on the commentary scene anymore. You agree with that?
Give me a second. That's a big question to take in. Like, to an extent, I agree with it. Like, but for the most part, you just got to bring something super refreshing. Like, here's an example. Somebody compared YouTube gaming to Zune. Well, not Zune, Vivo, the other big thing on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Well, Vivo, they have 200 artists, but they're all doing their different thing. They all have different types of song, different types of music. Whereas gaming, we're all doing one thing. So we have 200 people doing the same thing. So obviously there are people going to pick their favorites and everybody else is going to trickle down. I don't know what it will take to get big into gaming again. Most likely being a pioneer of a new game, such as what Nanners did on Minecraft. Catching a new fad like that is a good way to go to the top. I think you can become a gameplay commentator again and be like really, really popular. But do I think it's going to happen in Call of Duty? Bigfoot has his spotters, but for the most part, no.
I disagree. Yeah, I still think that if you make good content and lots of it, that people will find you and you'll get out there. I sort of kind of think Syndicate's a story like that. How big was Syndicate 6 months ago? I'm not sure, but that guy, it seems like he blew up in the last 6 months.
I see a bunch of people with good content and they go nowhere.
But do they have a lot of it? Right? I mean, a big part of it is building that library, right? You want a library of like 70, 200 videos out there. Every time someone sees one, hopefully it inspires them to subscribe to you. That's if you've got that rolling for you, then you'll grow.
Someone had told me every video you make it look like to the person watching it that's your best one ever. You know what I'm saying?
That was Blade.
Yeah. That's right. But every video should be something somebody might be watching who might help you out.
Yeah, every video should be one that inspires people to sub. And, you know, that's the mark I aim for every video I do. I don't know if I hit it every time. But yeah, and you know, some guy in the stream is fussing at Syndicate. But Syndicate does some things right, man. You know, the Syndicate interacts with his subs maybe better than anyone on YouTube, right? So the Syndicate's doing live streams all the time, right? There's no commentator who's perfect at everything, but Syndicate's doing something right. I don't know. I could go on. I hate to mention names, but you know, like X-Jaws, for example, right? That guy grew like crazy all winter long, and there were people who, you know, didn't like this aspect or that aspect of it. So not everybody's video is going to be your cup of tea, but he was clearly doing something right. You know, yeah. A lot of guys loved his stuff. So yeah.
The reason I'm basing my decision on that there probably won't be another Call of Duty guy, which there most likely will be, is the fact is if I lost my YouTube channel right now and had to start over, I don't think I could climb back up to the top. And I know much more about the YouTube commentary game than most people that are starting out today do. Like I know about time zones, I know about what kind of videos to upload, what to set, I know, you know, all the secret, you know, nits and tricks and all this that everybody else knows.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I could pull myself back to where I'm at now.
People's talking about live streaming. Tells you live stream every day or every night. I don't have that luxury with my internet connection. I can't live stream.
I don't either.
You know?
See, that's something else I'm worried about. Like I have this connection I can upgrade to, but you know it's going to be like a life-changing thing unless I start making more views as a whole. And if YouTube takes off in the streaming thing, I'm going to be left behind. I'm going to have to quit.
Sometimes I think about doing YouTube full time, right? Like, I have it in my head, it's a little like this. Let's say that I was working full time and I was a professional tennis player. And, you know, even though I was only devoting half my attention to tennis, I was still, you know, kind of making it on the pro tour. Thinking to myself, like, what could I get done if I went full time? You know, if I devoted all my energy to tennis and became the best pro I could be, where would I go? You know, if I were to do that on YouTube, I could live stream as much as Syndicate. I could make, you know, more than one video a day. It wouldn't be this thing that I, you know, get done on nights and weekends. It would be this thing that I'd be able to do, to put my full energy into. How much better could my channel be if my channel was the only thing I was doing? And
that's what I did with fighting. You know,
yeah.
I finished up school. I had a good job sitting on my butt. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw this job away. I'm just gonna focus on fighting. You know, as best.
That's what I'm talking about. Fucking do it. You only live once, Woody. Walk into
yeah, but see, this goes back to that man versus woman thing. Woody has a lot more on his back.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. That's, you know,
Woody, do you think you could find another job without too much trouble if you quit? If you left on good terms?
I'm sure.
You had that as a reference.
Yeah, I think so.
Do
you
it.
know, I think I could get a comparable job again.
I bet if you left on good references, Woody, you could probably get your same job back. 6 months now.
Yeah, tell him you need to leave an absence.
Family stuff.
Where I used to work at, we used to have this guy named Frank Snook. He quit. He is straight up quit. And he went to another company. Well, 6 months later, that company filed bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back, they give him his old job back. Just because he did it so well, and they had they struggled filling his position. As soon as he asked back, they gave it to him back. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's like 2 or 3 kiss asses under you. Like, I want Mr. Woodworth's position, you know, but can they really do it as good as you?
I am quite the boss.
Look, just get out of the shower, stand in front of the mirror, and be like, "Do it, motherfucker, do it."
Can I put my shirt on first? It gives me more confidence.
Yeah.
I'm no Joe Lauzon.
And then call your boss, and he'd be like, "What's up? Like, I'm here, standing here naked." I just want to say, "Do it."
I got my dick in my hand, and I started thinking about my job.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, maybe it's they say discuss it with my wife.
Yeah.
My wife's awesome. I have discussed it with her, and she supports it. She supports so much of what I do that it almost puts all the pressure on me, right? It's like, you know, hey honey, I want to buy this. Sure, go for it. You always say go for it. That means I have to make sure that we can
Give me some negatives.
Yeah, like, hey honey, I'm thinking about leaving my job and playing video games for a living. Oh, I support you.
Well, how about healthcare?
But if
you quit your job,
I'd have to buy it.
Yeah, I'm not. That's the problem I'm about to run into. I'm about to turn 26. Like right now, I'm currently still my parents because you can be there till you're 26. Like next April, I'm SOL. I'm a fat guy with no insurance.
Healthcare. Let me give you a personal pro tip. When you try to price healthcare insurance for your whole family, your wife and kids, get ready to pay out the chunk.
I'm imagining I'd pay out the chunk right now if I got it on myself, being like 350 pounds.
I'm telling you, because I've already priced it once before.
I've been trying to talk her into getting a job just for healthcare. Like I don't care what they pay you, just get the healthcare and get it on the family.
Because I'm gonna use, for example, my dad as an example. He's got great healthcare. But guess what? Can you imagine getting? Because you're getting up there in age too, Woody, to be honest. God forbid, 40 years old, you start getting the prostate check. You might have something wrong.
I'll be dead soon.
For example, and you talk about cancer, have to get shit removed and cut out, and then, hey, there goes anything you made through YouTube. Right there is gone with medical bills. It's just something to think about. The healthcare. Healthcare is always the devil in the details.
Because I was there thinking, like, I got a good chunk of change right now, but like my grandma just had a surgery on a rotator cuff that cost $45,000. And it's like, dude, if I got something that was worse than that, I'd be broke. What happened if I fell and broke my hand and shattered my hand? My gaming career's done.
I love that. You could insure your hands in the same way that what the hell is her name? The other J-Lo, right? The other one?
Yeah, she insured her ass.
She insured her butt because it was like so essential to her career. Wingsofredemtion could do that with his hands.
Yeah, but in any case, any of it, like I could probably just go by and do gameplay commentary or like live commentary like the StarCraft guys do. I'm sure my career wouldn't be like thrown right down the toilet, but it would hurt my channel a lot not being able to play like I can play right now. With like not being able to move my fingers the way I can.
I wonder if anybody's ever torn their rotator cuff jacking off too much.
I doubt it.
I don't think so. That's like a swimmer's injury. That's big time. Yeah, no, tennis elbow I could see.
Yeah.
Carpal tunnel maybe.
Oh, the stream. They said Market J's medical bill would be off the charts if he had to pay for 6,000 hands. That's awesome.
Yeah. 6,000 hands.
But yeah, it's been buzzing around in my head, that, like, what if I did do this full time? And it's not like not that life revolves around sub count, but it's not like I have a channel with 75 subs and I'm, wondering if I could make it big. Like, there are some indicators that say, I have a future in this.
I took that risk one time. I had a choice in my life. Do I update my resume and start putting in for jobs under somebody, or do I start a YouTube channel and hope to make money?
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. You only live once. Life is risk.
You had a dark year too, man. That was a ramen noodle year.
Oh yeah, no, I lived that. To be perfectly honest, that year I lived off $3,000.
That's
for the whole year.
The whole year, I sold a Hardy trailer for $3,000, and I sold a chick. Well, it might have been 5 at the end of the year. I sold a couple chickens, but at that whole year, $5,000. I lived that whole year. And that's counting buying the video games to keep up with it.
That's gangster, dude.
Yeah, but the fact is, life is risk. History has proven that the people that go big are the people that take risks to do it. Like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. They both took risks to get where they're at. Obviously, big risks are easier to do when you got a nice $100 million cushion, but
it's not that big of a risk then.
Yeah.
Well, it's still a big risk. You end up losing $50 million of your money, half your money, but fact is, you still got $50 million. You're not eating ramen noodle.
I think if Woody, all he did was YouTube, and all he did was wake up worrying about Woody and use YouTube, man, honestly, I think you'd be off the fucking chart. Channel.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it might bite you in the butt, to be perfectly honest. Like, I'm in a position where I do this full time, and putting out more videos does not mean your channel grows more. Like, I have all this time to think about all these videos and all these messages to help, and my channel's in the shitter. And I think if you overdo something, you have more chances to mess up as well.
There's no doubt that overdoing it can be a bad thing, right? But I do one video. I do a little more than one video a day. Like Thursdays, I'll do 2. Sometimes Fridays, I do 2. But I do like 9 videos a week. I think 14 might be a better number. Twice a day. During last winter when X-Jaws crushed it. And by the way, he crushed it all summer long, just based on like searching and people finding it. He was doing 3 a days. Syndicate, when he was going super hot, he wasn't doing it. There aren't that many guys who grew off 1 a days. CNanners did. But
here's a question to Woody. Would you think your work would let you drop down to part-time and still keep your benefits?
No, I don't think they do that. What was I going to say? They do have a leave of absence program that I could ask about. Like sort of leave the door open for coming back in 6 months.
You gotta try that.
Just try it. See what happens. If it doesn't work out, guess what? You're back in the same position you're in now.
And I tell you, this winter would be a perfect time to do it too.
Yeah, because I think Modern Warfare 3 is going to break. It's either going to make this gaming thing happen or it's going to break it. If Modern Warfare 3 fucking flops, I think the YouTube community will flop with it. Other than like Minecraft.
There's
talking about the Call of Duty section of it.
Yeah, I was about to say that. There's more to it than just Call of Duty. Someone I usually don't talk about the stream because it's not good for the guys driving in their car. But somebody fussed at CNanners, right? There was a CNanners hater in the stream, and the thing about that is CNanners never has given anyone a reason to hate him. Like he's not hating on other people. He's not hating on his subs. All he does is put up commentated videos. Why would people fuss at CNanners? I don't know. Not
people
nice.
Love to hate.
People love to hate. There you go.
Yeah.
How do you deal with haters, Joe?
I just don't let them get to me. I just
he fucking chokes them out.
Yeah.
How do you just not let them get to you? That sounds like a magic trick. Like,
we've kind of talked about this before. We just got to remember that you are awesome. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, there's some reason that they're hating on you. You know what I mean? You're doing something right. So I just don't let it bother me.
I tell you how I've been doing the last 2 weeks. I always assume that everything I say is on public television.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. If you're in a game, if you're especially commentating, if you're on the show, everything you say is being taken note of.
I mean, everybody this day and age has a recording device. Everybody this day and age wants to hear everything you say. So, even if I'm on Xbox Live, I got to watch what I say now.
One thing that
I learned my lessons the hard way.
Yeah, I know. So I saw Shaquille O'Neal at the MLG Raleigh event, right? He was there. I think there was it was the Jimmy V fundraiser, right? If you don't know, he's a basketball coach, and there's a Jimmy V Foundation, etc. So Shaquille O'Neal was there, and a couple of guys met Shaquille O'Neal for the only time in their life, and he wouldn't talk to them, he wouldn't shake their hand, he wouldn't take a picture with them, and they walked away like, oh my God, Shaq is an ass. This guy's such a jerk. And if you're in Shaq's shoes, it must be rough every time you go anywhere to get recognized like that. Somebody wants a little something from you, even if that something is nothing, like taking a picture, all the time, constantly. And Shaq, even more than I don't know, Boris Becker, the tennis player, has to get recognized just because he's, a freak of
biggest
nature.
motherfucker in the room.
So when I have it easy, right? Because it turns off and on for me. If I go to COD XP, if I go to an MLG event, then I get recognized a lot. Like I'm in that little subculture. I am, and it's going to sound big-headed, but in that little subculture, I'm kind of a celebrity. In the world, I'm not. But if I'm at an MLG event, I am. And when I'm playing on Call of Duty, I get recognized in lobbies and stuff. And I keep it in my head, you know what? This guy's going to be playing with me for 15 minutes or so, and that's going to be his only impression of me. All he's going to know about me is this. I am, on air when I'm in Xbox Live because that's the only time they're going to meet me. Let's make it a good experience for him. That's the deal.
Yeah, you look at it like, I'm going to make him go subscribe to me right now.
It's not just that. It's not business, but it's like, I won't mention names, but there have been other YouTube commentators that I looked up to. I was like, oh my god, this guy's so awesome. He's incredible. I even had like mental images in my head of them being like captain of the football team, all buff and great looking, because I had only seen them play. And then when I heard their first commentary, it was like, wow, I'm having a hard time still liking this guy. and that was like a lesson learned for me. Like, all right, so when someone meets me for the first time, I can't be a big fat jerk. You got to be on.
Yeah, Syndicate said that 6 months ago he had 128,000 subs.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and Syndicate, I don't know if he passed me yet, but he's about to. He gained so many per day that Syndicate's going to race right past me in subs. He's just crushing it right now. And so 6 months ago he was still pretty big, but I bet if you went back 3 more months or so, he would have been much smaller. He's just been crushing it. So yeah, I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, when you're on Xbox Live, when you're at an MLG event or COD XP type thing, then that's it's on. Be the public you.
Now, was you kind of nervous being on the stage, on the stream part of it when you was
in the tournament at COD XP?
Yeah.
No,
at Raleigh.
A little bit. What my big problem was they like if I had to commentate, say, an Optic game or an Envious State game or maybe even a Fear game, then I would have been set. But that's not when they bring me in. Like if Optic goes up against Fear, they bring their studs in. If there's 2 lesser known pro teams, then they bring me in to talk. Games that don't otherwise have a lot of interest. So, like, I'm there with Holiday Doc, and there's a 2 pro teams playing each other, and I see, like a name I don't even know what team they're on. I don't know what just happened. I sucked at shoutcasting it. I don't know who the players are. I was just trying not to embarrass myself. But that was the hardest part about it. Oh, and then there's monitors to either side so you can see what's going on. But Holiday Doc's monitor worked and mine didn't. So I had to look across the table trying to figure out what was going on. It's hard to do, but they told me that I did well, so I got positive feedback on it, so that was cool.
You was right, Woody. 3 months before that, he had 3,000.
No way.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Yeah, so
yeah.
He started 9 months ago.
So, yeah, 3,000 subs, and then 9 months later, he's got
like 500,000 or so.
Yeah,
he's crushing it, and yeah. So that I don't know. That to me says at least Black Ops it wasn't too late. Will it be too late in Modern Warfare 3? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, see, what people forget is, every November when the game comes out, a lot of those games are sold to first-time Call of Duty players. I mean, you have a lot of kids that are just now turning 14 or 15, and or even younger, who's never even played a Call of Duty before. Then you have the people like us, who's been playing COD forever.
I don't consider like 4 years forever.
The fan base is still still growing.
All right. Oh, you know what?
Here's what I do on this leaving subject. I know I'm about to turn 26, and Woody's about to turn 40. So I know I'm.
I'm not about to turn 40, you assholes.
Hey, it's time to get that butthole checked.
I know I'm not going to be castrated by my age till I hit Woody's age.
So in last week's Painkiller Already, Steve Jobs had recently died. And in there, I kind of pointed out some of the negatives of Steve Jobs. He had a kid, an illegitimate kid, and then he denied paternity of that kid, and they lived in poverty for a long time. It wasn't until he was so rich that he bothered to accept what he did and support her and send her to college. But he was a billionaire at that point, so I kind of knocked Steve Jobs for the bad stuff he did. But you know what? I didn't praise him for his contributions to society. And the big one for me is girls in front of mirrors with their iPhones. I don't think there would be nearly as many pictures on the internet of girls in their bras with iPhones in their hands as there would be without Steve Jobs. So a tip of the cap to him. I appreciate it.
I still put him down because I have a 14-year-old. I'm like, no. Because I got a girl. I'm like, no.
Well,
dude, so
you praised him for this. What about the fucking sweatshops? Come on now.
Yeah, sweatshops are. But dude, girls in mirrors. Girls in mirrors, Wings. This is a serious contribution to society. I like girls daily. Where would this be without Steve Jobs?
Hey, look here. I don't need girls in mirrors. There's so much free porn on there. I can find girls boxing topless within like 10 seconds.
You totally could.
I want to watch this. Oh wait, no, I want to see a bitch get choked by a naked bitch.
You can probably find that.
Oh yeah, no, you can find that. Yeah, that exists.
Real rear naked choke.
There's some penalties for losing grappling matches if you're girl on girl. What was I gonna say?
I've seen a snake give a guy a blow job. The girls in front of mirrors with iPhones doesn't bother me one bit.
So here's the deal. People write me and ask for advice on YouTube all the time. And I reply to more than you people know. Mail Mondays are not the only people I get back to. And this girl was saying that there's this guy. She's not quite sure if she likes him. I actually had a girl subscriber. I'm not sure if I can believe this. But yeah. And she says that the guy sent her a topless pic of himself. And I just couldn't let that go. I was like, dude, girls, listen to me here. Don't sext people, especially if you're in high school. Like, this picture is going to get around. Everyone is going to see you mostly naked. This is wrong. Like, you don't want this to happen. It's on your permanent record. You might think that it's cute the one time you send pictures of your boob or downstairs to some guy, but it's going everywhere. You can take hot pictures of yourself. You can do self photos. You can look sexy. You can wear your, I don't know, boy shorts or something. You can look a bathing suit. You can wear like a half shirt. These things are just about, they're getting the same job done. Yet it's really not so much, it's not like the sort of thing that you'll regret forever. Somebody wrote, what did younger Woody do? Like, phones and a camera? When I was a kid? Come on. There weren't even, like, cell phones when I was a kid.
You called a bitch on your rotary phone and asked her mama if she could talk.
Yeah, man.
Yo, that link I sent you, that's a rear naked choke.
Let's see. Those are both guys. I was not expecting this.
I'm glad I didn't click the link.
I'm sorry. Oh, man.
All right. You know what I want to cover? Since it's Painkiller Already, and there's where we do the bad topics. Someone wrote this on Reddit, and it kind of burned into my head. This is your protests are broken up by riot cops. Your elections are stolen. Your voice is ignored. How long will it take until you recognize that you don't live in a democracy, but a plutocracy run by the banks? So I thought, I think I need to look up plutocracy. And here we are. Plutocracy is ruled by the wealthy or power provided by wealth. And I thought about that, and it was like, wow. That does sound like the U.S., doesn't it? It does seem like the wealthy have a tremendous influence over our politicians, over our government.
There's no influence. It's straight up being what happens is dictated by them.
When I have to sit here and think, how much money is my president taking from pharmaceutical companies to not pass this bill? Something's wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a big part of it. That, like, pharmaceutical contributions had a huge impact on American healthcare law. That they literally wrote our energy policy under Bush, and I bet I don't know if it was the energy companies, but people are writing laws, corporations are writing laws that later become the basis of what Congress passes. And yeah, it's a little insane. I'm starting to think that these we are the 99% people. Look, I don't agree with everything, but at their core, the notion that this country is not being run for, the bulk of us is wrong, is on target.
Taking light of this, Rome, before it fell to barbarians, was in the same boat we're in right now. The rich ran the country. Poor people did nothing but make the rich richer.
Well, you have to have a system by which the people become workers and enslaved to a country, and that system was put in place a long time ago.
Well, obviously a system is better for order, obviously, but what happens when let's have fictional characters? Let's say Mike is really really good at building, aqueducts. All right, so Mike builds the town an aqueduct, and then he goes and builds another town an aqueduct. That's pretty much the foundation of what our country's founded on. If you're good at what you do, you will succeed. Well, now they've took that part, and let's say Mike has to go to school to build an aqueduct, because nobody can believe he builds an aqueduct without a piece of paper. All right, so Mike goes to school. Well, for Mike to go to school, he's got to take a loan out with the Bank of America. Bank of America hits him up with such a fat interest rate, he spends his first 10 years building aqueducts to pay the bank back. Or he gets shut down and he's broke, so he has to go to work for the bank. It's forced slavery. That's where the banks start ruling the world, because right now you're living on credit. I think it was said best, you're trying to impress people you don't like with money you don't have for things that you don't need. Does it just make sense?
I try to stay out of political stuff, because I can get in the politics and monetary system and talk for days.
What are you guys' opinion on that? Did I not hit it on the head? Or,
I thought you drew a pretty good analogy there. Yeah, like the metaphor was working for me. I don't know the solutions, right? Like I definitely like capitalism. I think that's good. I'm still on board with the bulk of it. I guess I just want separation of corporation and state. How about that?
I think they should have more stricter laws on companies, and I think people need to get over the fact that rich people should be taxed more than poor people. If you draw a bigger income, you should be contributing a bigger part to the society. That is, for you to live in a Bentley and a nice house and all these things, you have more means to help people than somebody out there struggling to get the 2-for-1 chicken at Food Lion. You fucking struggling putting water in his Captain Crunch. Should the guy putting water in Captain Crunch be responsible for the same amount of taxes as the guy eating, lobster, paying $3 a Coke because he can?
Yep. The other thing is the tax rate. So you talked about the progressive tax structure, and I'm kind of cool with that. But for dividends and capital gains, they get special tax treatment, right? For people that don't know, in the U.S., the top tax rate, I'm going to mess this up. It's something like 31%. And
33.
Is it 33? Thank you. So if you earn $1 million a year, on that top portion of it, you pay a third of that in taxes. All right. So, but if you earn your income through capital gains, if you earn your income through dividends, then you get a much better tax rate. It's like 15%. And that's a huge problem, right? So if you're a heart surgeon and you went to school and you busted your butt and you're making $3 million a year on it, then thank you for your contribution. You're cool. If you're Paris Hilton and it's your money making your money, not you working for it. You're not getting paid for your hours or your labor or whatever. Instead, it's your investments paying off. Then you get a much, much lower tax rate. And that seems almost criminal to me. Why is it that if you don't work for your money, you pay a lower tax rate than if you do work for your money?
I think it's because it's not guaranteed. I think that's what it really comes down to. You're taking a risk on getting it versus not getting it.
Yeah,
not that I agree with it. I think that's.
I don't know about other states, but I know like South Carolina has this bullshit law that if you're from another country, you don't have to pay taxes on any business you open for 6 years.
That's some bullshit.
And that's why you see, like right here, at least in my part of the Carolinas, there's lots and lots of stores like the Sun House or like, places where you see these Arabic people. I'm not downing the Arabic culture, but this is just what happens to run these things. Running these stores, they'll run them for 6 years and then they'll give them to somebody else in their family to run them another 6 years because they changed ownership. They get tax-free again, so they're living tax-free on the business, and they're pushing other, like say Woody opens a convenience store in the area. He's going to have to pay taxes since he's an American citizen, and he obviously he can't undercut his gas as much as the Sun House can because they're not paying taxes at all.
That's crazy. All right. Want to do a more painkiller already-ish topic? This one's for
Taxes. Fuck
Red,
taxes.
Redneck, you ready?
Yeah, man.
Hypothetical situation.
I got one more thing before we jump to this next thing on there. Another thing I hate with corporations is the price gouging. Like, for example, heart surgeons, like you use them as an example, or medical fields and always, they charge like $2 or $3 for a syringe, where I could go buy a thing of syringes at the dollar store for like a pack of 50. Like, why is that shit allowed to happen?
I hear you. I don't know. Every time that comes up, they say, well, it's to cover the people who don't pay at all, right? In the U.S., they say, if you're hurt, then you don't get any health care. That's not really true. We actually do provide emergency health care. No one gets turned away from the emergency room if they're missing an arm. So, the guy who has health, the guy who does pay has to pay double to cover the ones who don't. The guys who don't want to have, everyone covered, they're actually giving away free health care. That's what the current system does. And
well,
yes,
they say this shit. They say like the hospital's losing money. I went to the hospital the other day, and my grandmother. I went with her grandmother, and they had to check him into the room. Well, this guy comes by rolling a computer with his own power supply that he can check her into it. I'm like, why the fuck can't you bring a piece of paper in here, write her shit down, and go back to your office and do that? Why did you need to spend like $20,000 on that fucking contraption right there? And you're telling me that you're losing money.
It's hard to say. But hey, Redneck, are you ready for this?
Lay it on me, Woodrow.
Hypothetical question. You are a girl. You with me so far?
I'm a girl.
You're a woman.
Woman.
How much would you pay for my prostitution services?
Does it matter? How about this? What's my age?
24.
I'm 24. I'm a lonely girl.
You are.
And it's you.
I'm your man.
Well, we was talking about pictures of each other earlier when I was shower pictures,
Oh my God.
No.
Some stuff's just between us, all right?
Oh, my bad. I will not talk about it no more. If it depends on if you're as large as you say you are.
No one's as large as they say they are.
Okay. We got that out of the way. 4 hours, I'd say at $100.
$100 for 4 hours? So I'm worth $25 an hour?
I mean, that ain't bad, is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
The way I look at it, I'm paying you to fuck me, and that's a pleasure. You should be paying me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with Redneck here. I pay not a damn dime. Look here. Girls have it easy in the terms of sex. Most guys don't give a shit. And if you're willing to give it up, they're willing to take it.
I hope Kitty ain't still listening.
So if you need a little bit of pussy popping, it ain't too hard to find somebody to do it for you. You could be a 400-pound fat chick with pimples. Somebody's down to hit it.
You gotta pay Woody to fuck you.
No, you had to pay shit. Just go to somebody else.
Don't have to pay. I mean, do you remember Elliot Spitzer? He was was he governor in New York when he got caught for that high-priced prostitute or attorney
he's
general?
The bomb. He should be president.
You know the difference between Elliot Spitzer and me? I paid a fuck lot more than $88,000 for my puss. Like, I can't imagine how much I paid over the last 15 years, but it's a lot.
I feel you, Woodrow.
Yeah, but you get to go back continually. It's like an all-round, revolving door card you're buying.
You want me to tell you when the relationship's good? When you're coming into the bedroom and you look over and your wife's on the bed naked with her legs up in the air, and she says, "I thought you'd want some." I'm like, oh man.
Nice.
That's a good relationship.
All right.
Now, what happens if you tell you don't?
That turns into a bad relationship pretty quick. Yep. Pro tip to all you guys out there: if she's naked and you say no, you're fucked. So
it's like a slow conversation where you got to talk about how you're tired, or maybe you got a headache, or how your feelings. You had a long day. It's where drinking helps. At least then you can have the whiskey dick.
Joe Lauzon.
Yo.
Why do Call of Duty players keep going back to Call of Duty? There's a lot of good games out there. There's other games that would compete for their attention. But every year they go back to COD. Why do you think that is?
Because it's awesome. I don't know. I like Call of Duty best because it's so fast paced. I feel like the other games aren't as quick. They're much slower.
See, I agree with him.
I think he's right about that. The controls are really smooth. The thing handles great. It's 60 frames per second. People underestimate the value of that. It's fast-paced. All the maps in Call of Duty are designed to maximize conflict, right? If you look at a basic map in Call of Duty, there's 3 ways to get from one side to the other all the time, right? Take a look at Subbase. There was the left, by that tank. There was the right, by the water. And then there's up the middle, through past B domination. You could go on and on. Favela, left, right, up the middle. In Black Ops, they do the same thing, right? Take Discovery, the new map. There's left, right, up the middle. They always have sort of 3 ways to get from one side of the map to the other. And they do that so that players are constantly running into each other. There's this like head-on-head, gun-on-gun fights all the time. And yeah, I think it's the map design that keeps people coming back to Call of Duty, so they keep it so busy.
For little kids, like, younger kids, in that 10, 12, 13-year-old age range, it comes down to peer pressure. Like, these kids, they're not, if, mommy and daddy's gonna drop $60 or $100, they better make sure they're getting a game that all their friends have.
That's
and then
true,
it comes down to the numbers. I mean, if you got 20 friends from school, I'd guarantee about 15 of them that play games don't have Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty,
That's a really good point, actually. 'Cause it's like, why is eBay the big online thing right now? Well, because everyone else is on eBay, right? If you want to sell something, that's where the customers are. If you want to buy something, that's where the sellers are. If I was to get one game this year, it'd probably be Call of Duty. That's where all my friends will be. And, I'm in a special case because that's where I'll have subs as well. But, the hypothetical, high school version of me, yeah. We're all going to get that. And we're going to, hang out with each other.
Because how bad it would suck. Like, say I bought Battlefield 3 and I'd get home and all my friends like, what? You bought that game? Oh, yeah, it's really awesome. You should buy it. And they're like, my mom said no. I have to get Modern Warfare 3. And I'm like, yo, Mom, I want to get MW3. And she's like, I just bought you a game, Johnny. And now he's going to be sitting there playing by all himself, and his friends will be raping on,
Yeah.
I think the spawn system helps a lot, too. Like, people love to complain about the spawn system, and it sucks like people are spawning behind you. But that is what keeps it fast, too. I didn't like Battlefield at first, and then I started playing it, and I liked it, but, like, it's not nearly as fast because you're constantly spawning on the other side of the map.
Also, in Battlefield, to me, the maps are a little they're sandbox, right? And that's not a knock on Battlefield. I was playing with guys, and they were like, "Yeah, Battlefield's awesome because you can do anything. You can go anywhere. You can go all over this world. You can attack it from the direction that you want to. You can sort of, think outside the box. Whereas in Call of Duty, your options are limited on these maps. There's only so many ways you can play Favela. There's only so many ways you can play, firing range, right? That's that. But in Battlefield, there are a lot of routes you can take, and you can sort of safely get around behind them again. So, but to me, that slows the game down. So that's just how it is.
You could have a slow game that's really, really fair. You can have a fast-paced game that's just crazy as shit and that's entertaining. I would take the quicker game.
Wings, why do you think people keep going back to COD?
They were said it. I mean, I know why I go back to COD. I get rewarded for actually doing well. The kill streaks are a big reason I love Call of Duty. I love, like, if I'm on a 15 kill streak and I'm doing well in the game, I'm going to do even better in the game because the game's rewarding me for it. Like, if I go on a 15 kill streak in Battlefield, it's not going to mean 2 shits and a fuck. It's not. It's like, yeah, congratulations, here you go. Bomb stick.
You just slaughtered the whole team twice. Who gives a fuck, Yeah.
I mean, Call of Duty makes you feel like you're more of a role in the game. Like, I can carry a team by myself in Call of Duty, but I can kill 40 motherfuckers in Battlefield and still lose the game by a lot. It's a confidence building. Like, it makes me feel good when it goes boom, it goes 5 kill streak, predator missile. That makes me feel good. I don't know about you. Even to this day, it's like, yeah, I got a predator missile. Hot damn. I'm not going to use this bitch. And I get a 5 kill streak in Battlefield, I get sniped.
From some kid that's 900 fucking meters away.
Exactly. It's like it's all about reward system. Like if they put, I know the medals and shit's supposed to make you feel good, but I want to use something else. Give me a fucking Predator drone every now and then. I think Medal of Honor was a step in the right direction for like if they were going to go that way in a Battlefield series. Because I like the Medal of Honor kill streaks, but at the same time they had too much overpowered snipers, and it always felt like in Battlefield 3 beta, it feels like the deaths you get are unfair. It feels like you get 1-2 shot deaths. You don't get that too often in Call of Duty. That's another reason. I don't know. I'm more excited for Modern Warfare 3 than in Battlefield 3, and the main reason it is the fucking beta was horrible.
There you go.
Did the console beta eventually get planes and vehicles on it?
No, it didn't. They released it on PC again toward the last end of it.
I know the PC got it, but the console never got it.
No, and like it's got me skeptical because I played on the Bad Company 2 beta, and a lot of people are probably in the stream like, "Who's the beta, Winks?" I played on the Bad Company 2 beta, and guess what? That was the game I bought, 2 months later.
Is it November the 8th yet?
No, it's not.
Shit. I gotta get these people on the stream popping. Watch this.
All right, Redneck. You ready for this one?
Yeah, bro.
This is a Mail Monday topic that somebody wrote me from my YouTube messages. Here it comes. I am a virgin. I've never done anything past make out. I've heard from all my friends that the first time you do anything sexual, you will, finish really quick. I found this to be embarrassing, as I'm a junior and I don't want people to know I haven't done anything. So I guess what I'm asking is, how do I not bust so quick? I have a close friend who you would know help with my situation. Should I ask her? Look forward to your help. This doesn't have to be a Mail Monday video. Any response is sufficient. So he's worried that he'll finish too quickly, and he has a close friend who would help with his situation. Should he ask her? Go ahead, Redneck. Give us your wisdom.
Let me give you the answer.
All right.
You're going to finish quick your first time. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
No.
The key is just get a girl that's very understanding about it, because most girls know that guys that are inexperienced are going to be busting like they.
No,
everyone knows this trick, right? Make your first time your second time that day.
No, look. I'm gonna tell you, it's like Joe was talking about a while ago. You can't walk into a fight thinking you're gonna lose, and you can't walk into a fuck thinking you're gonna nut within a minute. You don't. No, you don't, dude. That's why people fuck up. They're too worried about busting a nut too soon, instead of worried about fucking. Like when it's time to fuck, it's time. I think about. I'm gonna put on a fucking show. I ain't thinking about no nut yet. I'm thinking about knocking the bottom out of it. And that's how hey, it is what it is. Your first time, you walk in thinking, "Oh my God, I hope I don't bust a nut." Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And she's on about what? No, you need to walk into it thinking, "I'm gonna fuck her like that girl on the porn video I watched."
Hey, look here. Go get you a fucking dildo from a sex shop, because you're gonna need that motherfucker. She's gonna be busting like 2 minutes.
Nah. My wife was busting 2 at a time. First time.
Really?
Yeah.
Get me going on.
Look, it's your fucking mind. You know why Viagra works so well? Because when you take that pill, when you take that pill, you think, "Oh my God, people, I'm about to fuck shit up. I got a Viagra." It's the placebo effect, man. Of course, it might help a little bit, but it's the mindset, dude. I'm telling you.
I've seen fucking 90-year-olds get hard-ons and shit with that. I don't think it's nothing to do with mindset.
Yeah, it is.
I think the shit just works.
You take 2 pills. One of them's a Viagra and one of them's a water pill. Yeah, their dick's still gonna get hard because they're getting excited because they know their dick's gonna get hard. Think about it. Mind games.
All right, I got a new one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Woody, I need your help. I have this so-called best friend that lied to me about liking my sister. There was a rumor going around that they were dating, and I confronted him about it. He said he had no idea what I was talking about at first. Then he went on to say, "I wanted to tell you a long time ago, but I felt really weird because you're my best friend. He's been my best friend for almost my whole life. He's practically family. And now I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't want to lose a best friend because of this, but he's lied for a month now. I just don't know what to do, Woody. Please help."
Man, the fuck up. The motherfucker lied. Motherfuckers gonna lie to you your whole life. That's not a big one.
Really? Redneck?
How's that?
Your best friend's dating your sister? What do you do?
I've been that best friend before,
Uh-huh.
and this is how. Well, this is what we did. I was the best friend, and his sister was hot, and so eventually, I mean, that's how it was. And I told him, I said, "Look, your sister's fine. We've been friends for a long time, but your fucking sister's fine." And that's how it went. And he's like, "Look, I don't mind. I'd rather you do it than somebody else, but just don't fuck her up mentally.
Yes, that's the thing. That's where I'm coming from. Like,
Don't fuck her over. Treat her like you would, treat her like
right?
Treat her like she is my sister. You know what I'm saying?
Going out with somebody is not an act of aggression, right?
No.
If you're my best friend and you're a good guy, my sister, I would hope that my sister would get a guy like you or you. It's not like I'm trying to keep her out of the dating pool and have her become a nun. No. If just treat her right. All he needs to do is make sure that he's good to your girl. Never hit her, treat her nice, and follow the campsite rule, right? You want to leave the campsite as clean or cleaner than you found it. That's the deal, and you need to make sure that her mental health is as good or better than when you found her. And
you break it, you buy it.
yeah. So that's the deal. I don't find any problem with her. Now he should have manned up and talked to you about dating her instead of hiding it, because I guess he was afraid you'd behave wrong. But no problem. Joe, what's your take on this thing?
If he was my best friend or one of my good friends, it means we trained in the gym together, and I would smash him in the face.
You fucking choke.
I'd give him a little extra.
Does Joe Lauzon got to choke a bitch?
Dude, we need to do like a Mail Monday dual com where you smash everyone in the face.
I know. I would be more upset about him lying to me about it. If someone's dating my sister and they were a good dude and they were going to treat her good, I'm okay with that. Even if it was one of my good friends.
No.
But lying to me about it, that gets you punched in the mouth.
The problem is, though, like I said, you gotta be a man. You gotta man up and get it on the table before it fucking starts. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you can always be like Scarface and just shoot the motherfucker.
It's a little extreme. But...
Yeah,
yeah.
You could.
Come on, Wings.
You'll have a new girlfriend, all right.
Yeah, but see, that's what happens. The guy marries his sister and he shoots him over it.
You got to sort all that out beforehand.
Yeah, the lying thing is a problem, but in general, I don't know. You shouldn't be so protective of your sister that she can't have a life of her own.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst thing is for your sister to not have anyone interested in her. That would be way worse than to have. I mean, even if you had a smoking hot sister, you don't want her to be the ugly duckling that no one cares about.
Definitely don't want to knock her up and leave her. So keep that in mind. So
I got a question for Joe before the podcast ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm looking over your professional fight record here.
Yep.
And a guy named Tin Honeycutt got knocked out in 11 seconds.
Yep.
What was that match like?
I ran across the ring and kneed him in the face.
Did he sleep with your sister?
He did not.
No.
Yeah, I came across the ring. I think I threw 2 punches. He ducked in to try and take me down, and I kneed him in the face. Quickest night of my life.
get fucked.
And I had to go. I fought in Florida for that fight, so I flew all the way to Florida. Was down there for a week, fought for 10 seconds, and then flew home.
You got any fights anytime soon in Alabama or Georgia?
I don't think so. I won't fight till probably February or so, and I have no idea. I mean, they could end up being somewhere near there. I don't know.
Man, you need to do one in Atlanta. I will
You knocked Jens Pulver out in 48 seconds?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
They've had me fight all over the place. I fought in Omaha, Nebraska. I fought in Denver, Colorado. I fought in Tampa, Florida, California a couple times, Vegas a few times, Pittsburgh, Detroit, all over the place.
I have it stuck in my head that Dana White said that if there's a Super Bowl fight, it'll be Vegas.
Yep. Yeah. If they do if they do a Super Bowl fight, it'll be in Vegas, which I'm sure they will. They'll definitely.
Yeah. Is it or loaded their gloves yet?
Is anyone what?
Oh, I have a question. Go ahead, you answer that first.
Have they loaded their gloves?
Loaded their gloves,
like for example, like you could inject mercury into your glove and increase your punch.
What they do is
power.
for the UFC at least, you figure out what size glove you need, which you pretty much know, but they figure out what size gloves you need the day before. So when you're at weigh-ins, then they hold on to the gloves, and they give them to you the night of the fight, and you get them like right as you're warming up, and you have a commissioner. So like. I actually have my hand wraps here right now. Like I get my hands wrapped, and the commissioner watches the entire time. Then they freaking Sharpie him to death right there.
Your hands are wrapped right now?
No. I have the hand wraps beside me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be a little creepy.
I mean, like professional boxers can load their gloves, which I'm not trying to say boxing is a bigger sport than UFC, but at one time it was. I'm pretty sure there's some period of time where somebody could get to that cheating part.
They could try, but the commission, like, we have much smaller gloves. So boxing gloves are bigger, so there's more room to put something in. With our gloves, they're so thin. They're like maybe less than an inch thick, probably like 2/3 of an inch.
Joe, I gotta ask this. I see him tape up your hands. I think I actually saw him tape up your hands. And you have massive amounts of tape on it. There's like a half an inch of tape in front of your knuckles.
Yeah.
What are the, like... How much taping is okay? Like, can you explain the whole taping thing to us?
I think you can use one roll of gauze per hand and one roll of tape, and it's usually it's inch-wide tape. And you actually you can't put any tape on the knuckles. You can put gauze over the knuckles, but all the tape has to be an inch off. So basically, if you make a fist and you put your finger right on top of your knuckles, like towards the back of your hand, the tape has to be behind the finger. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And that's
So that's where all the tape has to be. But like my boxing coach, Steve, like he turns my hand into like a freaking concrete brick. Like,
yeah,
I had one fight where I had a pretty jacked up hand, and I fought. It was I did 3 fights in one night. It was like a tournament. It was like the last fight before the UFC. The last night I fought before the UFC. And my hand was so jacked up, and then he wrapped it up, and I was punching people all night with it. Was completely fine. Won the whole tournament. Was touching fists with everyone all night long after. Took off my hand wraps. The first person I touched, I almost cried. I felt like my hand was, like, destroyed.
I have an idea for an amazing giveaway.
Okay.
Cut your hand wraps off your hands and sign them. Give them to Woody, and let him do a giveaway with them.
Well, when they're sharpieing it up, what are they afraid you're going to do? Add another roll of gauze to it?
That's when they're worried that you're gonna go and you're gonna put something hard inside the wraps, or put like plaster. Like you can, like the big thing in boxing is like that guys will dip their hands in like almost like a plaster, and it turns into like a cast. So they're worried about you messing with things. But I've seen like all kinds of like.
Yeah, you can like kill a man if you load your gloves because you hit him so hard.
You could, you probably could, but I mean, they watch us so close. It'd be really, really tough.
Here's the other thing:
when you after the fight. They watch you take off your gloves. They take the gloves. They inspect them. They inspect the wraps. Sometimes they take the wraps. Like they're pretty thorough about it.
When you walk in the ring, they like pat you down like a policeman does.
Yeah,
right. And they check behind your ears. What are they looking for?
They're looking for the knife that I normally carry in my shorts.
They're really looking for a knife you're hiding behind your ears?
I have no idea. No, when they're checking behind your ears, they're checking for Vaseline. That's what they're checking for.
What do people do with Vaseline behind their ears?
Slip out chokeholds.
Yeah, slip out of chokes. Or like, say you have a guy like Melvin Gillard. If he didn't want to be taken down, he could put Vaseline on like his neck and on his ear, behind his ears and things like that. So once I try and grab onto him, now I get all Vaseline on my hands, and now I can't hang on to anything.
Wasn't GSP accused of that? Was it the BJ Penn fight?
Yep. Greasegate. Yep.
You think he's guilty?
I don't know. I mean, like. Some guys will cut weight by, like we use Albolene. So Albolene's like a makeup remover. Mm-hmm. So like we'll go in the sauna and you'll basically lather up with Albolene and it opens up all your pores and helps you sweat better. But other people will take like a bath in like mineral oil or baby oil and things like that. So what really ends up happening is it gets into your skin, and then when they check you at the beginning of the fights before you've broken a sweat and things like that, you're dry. But then as your pores start opening, you start sweating, all that oil starts coming out. And I think that's what generally happens, and people feel greasy and slimy.
And people really, that sucks, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever train with someone that like put in like hair gel or something that day, and then you try to grab like their neck or something like that, and as soon as you grab it, your hand is slimy and you can't hang on to anything. You know, and if I were training, I could grab my own shirt and like try and dry off my hand or whatever, or get the crap off of it. But when you're in fight shorts and you don't have a t-shirt to absorb all the oil and stuff, it's freaking impossible. It sucks.
All right. Unless you guys have more topic, I want to end with this. Joe, give me your top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in order.
In order. Anderson Silva.
Me, myself, and I.
All right.
Anderson Silva is number 1. Frankie Edgar, number 2. And then John Jones, number 3.
Really?
John Jones.
Yep.
I thought for sure. My question was whether GSP would be 2 or 3. I guess he's 4.
See, I have GSP as number 4. You know, and here's my quick reasoning for all of them. Anderson Silva has been like unstoppable for years now. No one's even come close to doing anything, with the exception of Chael, who he still submitted him. So he's finished everyone. Then I think Frankie is number 2 because he's basically fighting up a weight class. He's walking at like 150, 155 pounds. He should be a 45er. So he's my number 2. I think John Jones because he's only been training like 3 or 4 years. Like that is completely crazy that he's gotten that good that fast. You know, and I get St. Pierre as number 4. But I mean, I think any one of those 4 could change at any point.
St. Pierre's won like 29 of his last 30 rounds.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yep.
No.
Yep. And people will say that he doesn't finish and he just fights to win and not to actually hurt people. Yet he broke Josh Koscheck's orbital with a jab. So the guy's a killer.
All right.
Crazy.
Anyone have topics before we wrap up the show?
The St. Pierre guy, he's like this killer French man or something.
Yep.
French Canadian.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a monster.
Yeah.
This is why I
well.
carry pocket knives.
All those guys are cutting a lot of weight, with the exception of Frankie Edgar. Like George St. Pierre, he fights at 170, but he probably walks at 195, 200 pounds. Anderson Silva fights at 185. He's probably walking at 210, 215. John Jones is fighting at 205. He's probably walking at 225. So to have Frankie in there with all these other guys that are cutting a ton of weight and him being under the weight is ridiculously awesome.
Do you remember the days back when Gracie fought? Because I remember him fighting guys that were like, he was like maybe 140, 150, 160, and he was fighting guys at like 225.
Yep. But they didn't know.
I mean,
it's like you being good at Call of Duty and then playing against someone else that is a good gamer, but they're good at other things, but they've never played before.
yeah.
It's like they just do stupid things that they just you'd murder.
Yeah. That's that's the deal. That's what I count on at every gaming event. Not in Call of Duty, but yeah, like, oh, FPS Kyle wants to roll with me? Okay.
Yeah. It's just like common sense things. Like everything that I learn now, even like, I've been training like 10, 11 years, but almost every time I learn something, I never think, oh, that's a really complex topic. I'm like, oh, that is so simple. Why did I never think of that? It's all common sense stuff. It's all basic fundamentals.
Yeah.
All right. Who you think, one more thing, who you think is the scariest? Like, who is the one guy you wouldn't want to fight? Well, that don't make no sense. How about this? Woody, who's the one guy you wouldn't want to step in the ring, in the MMA ring with?
I'm thinking any weight class?
I mean, unlimited weight. I don't care who it is. To me, it would be like Brock Lesnar or somebody, some big, enormous mofo.
I'm thinking a striker, right? The striker's more likely to hurt me. Like, if Joe beats me, there's a decent chance that I'll walk out of it uninjured, just embarrassed, right? If Anderson Silva beats me, I might look like Rich Franklin does every time he fights him. So I think I'd find the strikers to be more unpleasant to lose to. And among the strikers, I don't know. Maybe Silva. Maybe he'd be the one. John Jones, one of those guys, I think.
Strikers definitely have the intimidation, for sure.
I couldn't imagine getting hammer-fisted.
Yeah. They're all going to beat me. I'm just trying to decide how I'd like to lose. Like, I think, that's where we are.
We always say kicks and punches hurt, but knees and elbows kill. It's really not the punch or the kick it's all the knees.
Yeah.
Plus, they're not padded. There's no padding on an elbow or a knee. You have bone. It's going to smash your face up. Like, pretty much the hardest part of your body. the hardest part of their body is going to get smashed on something really sensitive of yours. Your face, your eye, your nose, whatever. Jaw.
All right. That was Painkiller Already, episode 70. Thanks, guys.
I gotta shut my computer down. My shit like crashed like an hour ago. Like I can't use it.
All right. So this is the post show. You guys know there's a couple thousand people listening. So this is not the time to break into your true thoughts about your sister, Joe.
I had a kid sent me a message on YouTube, and I thought it was crazy. He says, "Hey, I'm 13, almost 14, from the UK. I was dating this girl for about 5 months, and one night we were just messing around, and then I found myself having sex, and now she's pregnant, and I haven't talked to her about it." I don't see. He says, "I haven't talked to her about it yet, but this is what he talked about. He don't know if he wants to try to ask her to get an abortion or if he should take responsibility." Oh.
Isn't that impossible, man?
Yeah, that's I mean, I don't even know where to start. That's deep right there.
So his girl's pregnant, and he doesn't know if he should try to persuade her to get an abortion or take responsibility. Well, I think he needs to be responsible if that's how it goes. I don't think you can just decide not to take responsibility. The question is whether you can try to persuade her to abort.
Here's my thing. This kid, I'm going to call him a kid because he's 13 or 14. I got
13 or 14.
He can't even take care of himself.
No, he can't.
That's crazy. That's just a bad situation. I can't even offer no help because I got a 14-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son, and that's like, what? Wait, what happened? No help on that one. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. And, it's a weird thing, right? Because it seems like the ideal standard, right? The perfect version of a guy just supports the woman in whatever decision she decides to make. Do you want to start our family now here at 13 years old? All right. I'm right here by your side. We're going to plow through this together. Or, do you want to abort it? Yeah. And then, I'm by your side. The perfect guy does that. But it's like, wow, the guy doesn't get to have any influence on this decision?
Yeah.
I think your influence in your decision making was already done.
Yeah.
In the end, it's the girl's body, so you really can't do a lot.
Are you allowed to talk to her about it? Are you allowed to? I think
you can talk to her about it, but if she doesn't say what you want to hear, you can't really argue.
I think that's pretty much where I'd come down to.
Yeah.
Look, they're 13, right? This isn't 18 where we're talking about like an altered life or something. This is 13. 13. Yeah. They don't have anything going on here. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm pro-choice, so I guess I'd, try to lean her in that direction, and if she doesn't go, then follow her. I think that's where you end up.
Yep.
It's a bad spot. Don't be a dummy, don't come in her tummy. Someone wrote that in the stream.
I read that, dude. Oh, man. Sayings.
Yeah. So, wow. I had one. What did I bring up? Oh, that wasn't a public one.
I had some more somewhere. Hang on.
Oh, I had a kid. I don't have the message in front of me, but here was his message. He's in kind of a bad spot emotionally, and he's getting bad grades at school. His parents are a stickler for grades, and he's going to pull 2 Fs. And the report card is going to come in 2 days, but he knows what his grades are.
Yeah.
What's his next step, Redneck? The guy's going to pull 2 Fs. He's got hell to pay soon.
If that was my son or my daughter, you're dead. 'Cause I'm going to kill you. literally, because if my kids make a B, I'm fucking distraught. And I mean, because I'm like that for a reason. I mean, if you start doing it now, when you get in high school, you need to have your shit together and be like automatic, so that your grades are always good. And that way your transcripts will look really nice when the time comes to visit colleges and whatnot. But 2 Fs, dude, I'm gonna say, what the hell? What the fuck are you thinking? You know,
but we're advising the kid in this situation. We're not advising the parents.
The kid should be a man, you know.
So here was my advice to him. I'm like, all right, he's got 2 Fs coming, right? 1, don't wait. Don't act like, you have 2 days before your sentencing and just let it. Bad news does not get better with age. It just gets worse and worse and worse. I would tell them, I would come to my parents prepared and say, like, look, this is what went wrong. This is what I can do next semester to pull this thing around. Sometimes I play my Xbox and I get so wrapped up into it, I can't put it down and start homework. I think I do my homework first every day. Do my homework and then do the fun stuff after that. Sometimes when I do this, or this subject just completely escapes me. I don't know how other kids are learning it. I need a tutor in this, to help me through. He needs to come up with some sort of game plan solution type thing, so that if he approaches his parents with that, like, this is what I did, this is what went wrong, and this is how I can make it better, then he'll have much better results than just sort of hiding it, waiting for the end.
Yeah, don't hide it. That shit never does any good at all. No. Don't hide it. Don't sign it. Don't get your friend's mom. No. Just man up. Say, yeah.
I have a friend who got away with it.
Do your mom and dad a favor. When you take your grade to them, make sure you have your Xbox and all your shit bundled up.
Photoshop it.
Yeah, dude, old school Photoshop. My buddy, his parents were divorced, right? So his mom got the report card and his father got a copy of the report card. And I think he had a C on it, and everything else was an A or a B. So he made a photocopy, cut out a very small little A from one of his other topics, and then put it on top of the C so that became an A. Took a photocopy of the photocopy, and boom. Now he has a copy where he has all A's and B's ready to show his father.
Yeah, it just depends on how dumb your dad is.
But that's old school. Nowadays they go on the web and look up your grades. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
I have a video for that. Dude, I could hook him up. Do you remember that video where someone faked a message that was from, I think it was from me? Yeah. They said that I wrote this, and I demonstrated how to fake messages. I even had Obama tweet me and stuff. Just editing it in the browser. He could totally change his grades for online stuff. Piece of cake.
He's a solution for every problem.
Yeah. People are saying that's prison stuff. No, it's not. It's totally legal. I'll show you the...
Yeah, drop that link.
Yeah, I'll drop this stuff in there. You guys will see it.
Although if the kid got 2 Fs, he's probably not that bright anyways. I don't know how well he could Photoshop or edit the code.
Yeah, he's...
It really depends on why you got the Fs. If it's something you tried hard at and you just couldn't get the material or whatever, then it's your parents' fault for the poor genetics. But if you're just being a retard and just not doing stuff, then you're in deep shit.
Wow, somebody's still posting that one kid's phone number.
Oh, really? That old school phone number?
Yeah.
There it is. There's Peyton. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Man, someone asked me, they wrote to me, and they said that he had a bully, and he described the whole thing, and this bully sounded like a total jerk. And I was like, give me his phone number. We'll tweet it. That's my solution. We'll get everyone right in this guy. Yep, yeah, just freaking overwhelming.
Fucking owned.
He did get owned. I heard later that there were 2 sides to the story, which is always the tricky thing in this, right? If somebody thinks that Peyton was somewhat justified. I don't know. Oh man, Peyton's getting rocked. You know he's getting rocked right now. There's people calling that. Oh, and there are people who don't even know the story. Yeah.
I suggest don't call the number, and if you don't know, if you don't remember the PTA or haven't watched it, I suggest you go watch it first.
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yes, one of our subs called in and he was getting bullied. There was another time where a sub called in. He was asking for advice, and if I remember right, he slept with his best friend's girl and he beat his best friend up at a party.
And that's when I said I had enough.
Yeah, that's when we were like, you know what? You're the dick. And because we called him on Skype, we had his phone number, so we gave it to everybody.
I was like, fuck you, dude. It's one thing to sleep with your best friend's sister or whatever, or your best friend's girl. That's another thing to beat his ass, too.
Yeah. He just went over the top.
Yeah.
FPS Russia just tweeted a phone number? I have to look and see if he did that.
I'm sure that kid's changed his number by now anyways. You're just wasting your time.
It's probably some 70-year-old woman. You're like, hello? Fuck you, Peyton. Oh, who? That'd be terrible.
Anyway, I think that's the post show. Thanks for coming on, Joe. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.